What's going on, everybody? I'm David Jones. I'm your host today at Tenacious D Jones over on Twitter, here with Alex Blickle to break down this crazy NBA slate. It's out of control. What's going on, Alex?
Hey, yeah, it's hard to deal with all of this flying information, and kind of you have to adjust every 10 minutes, it seems, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, we will do our best. A lot to get to. I know we are in front of the paywall today, so I was just going to make sure that if you're watching the show, you should check out ftndaily.com. We've got all sorts of different packages, the state-of-the-art optimizer, advanced DVP tools, NBA on-off splits that I was looking at a lot today. You need them today. For every slate, for every sport, check it out. Pricing's at $49.99 per month. If you use the code FTNTV, 15% off, and that's every month. It will go on repeating. So make sure to check that out at FTN Daily. But look, we've got a ton of stuff to get to today. I was talking with Alex before the show. So the big news is the Sacramento Kings and how many people are going to be ruled out. Then I'm double checking. I just got a Sacramento update because what we were seeing is Woj reported that Davion Mitchell was going to be out, and the Sacramento beat writers were saying he is not ruled out yet. So I just got an update. Let me see what it says. Still no update on that. Kings guards Halliburton, Metu, and Mitchell are in health and safety protocols, but they're still questionable. So that's as of the team's injury report, which came out at 2:30. But this guy who apparently reports for the Kings saying it's not confirmed that Mitchell's out. He's probably out, but he's not out yet. Does that report do anything for you? Do you know where we're going with this yet?
I mean, we already need to wait for Halliburton news, because if Halliburton's in, he's one of my favorite players on the slate, if not the favorite for me. Yeah. So it doesn't really change anything. We're still waiting for the same news.
Yeah, I mean, if he is out and let's see, Mitchell's out, then that's going to leave the Kings with 8 healthy bodies. Harrison Barnes would see like 42 minutes. You'd have Buddy Hield on the court on the entire time, birthday narrative, yeah. all sorts of stuff going on. But let's start breaking down these games. We will answer your questions as they pop up in the FTN Discord. If you don't like anyone from this game, there's plenty to talk about. We'll just skip it. But Miami and Orlando's first. We just heard that Tyler Hero is doubtful. Cole Anthony has been ruled out, along with Jalen Suggs, Fultz, MCW, all sorts of people over or at the Orlando side. Mo Bamba is out. Terrence Ross is out. I mean, there's just nobody here to play either. You've got Gary Harris drawing the start. He's 3,900 over on DraftKings. Is there anyone you like from this game?
I think Wendell Carter Jr. is in a pretty decent spot. You know, anytime Bamba's out, he should play more center. That's going to help him. But it's just, for me, it's a question of, does that make him a good enough play to use on a slate like this, where there are so many guys who are projecting so far above their price tag because of injuries and COVID-related absences? I don't necessarily think I'm going to get to him, but he would definitely be my top choice from Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, 6,900 over on DraftKings. You don't have to deal with as much defense on the other side. You're going to have PJ Tucker over there, of course. Fine defender, but it's no Bam that he's going to have to deal with. You got Jimmy Butler out still over there. PJ Tucker's been playing a ton of minutes, but it's hard to trust PJ Tucker, even though he's seemingly been exceeding value every day. I don't think this is the slate to get to him. Duncan Robinson relies on the shot, 4,700. Burned me a couple times this week because I've been fading him because you need that shot to drop. It's been dropping. If you want to go there, I guess that's fine, but I would much rather get to someone like a Gabe Vincent. However, his price has come up too. If Mitchell were to be in, he'd be the best salary saver for the Kings on the slate. You wouldn't need to get to someone like Gabe Vincent, but he's there as well. Kyle Lowry, 7,800. Look, all these people are essentially getting a little bit of a boost up, right? The heat value is kind of caught up with Bam and Butler out for like the past week, however long it's been. Orlando, you have a little more value. I think the game could be somewhat slow paced. I'm not sure I have a ton of pieces from it. If I had to choose one from Miami, it's probably going to be Gabe Vincent. If I have to choose one from Orlando, it's probably going to be Wendell Carter. I don't think you have to get too weird with too many of these picks in this game. If anyone has questions about it, I see one. If someone's playing Showdown for this game and they want to know a captain from the Miami-Orlando game, like it's not hard enough to break down already. I haven't really thought about the captain here. I guess you'd look at someone like Carter. You'd look at someone like Lowry. You'd probably want to look at the spin ups because you've got enough value to fit in at the flex spot. So I would just go with like the obvious that like spin up guys. So someone like Lowry, Wendell. It's probably
yeah. I would say, I mean, for that showdown, that's a game that's pretty much full of value plays at this point. So I think like you definitely want the captain spot to be a pay up option just because you're going to have the salary for it.
Kings update. I keep seeing this beat writer pop up on my Twitter, so let me see. New tweet. Source confirms Sacramento Kings guard Davion Mitchell has been ruled out for tonight's game. So Davion Mitchell is out. Load up your Buddy Hield. There is no word on Tyree Halliburton yet, so we're just going to have to wait and see, but he would be a great play if his back is feeling okay. All right, cool. That's good to know. Let's move on to Golden State at Boston. You've got Jordan Poole out for the Golden State side. Both of these teams canceled their shoot-around this morning, but the game is on still. More importantly, you've got Al Horford, Grant Williams out, the big guys for the Boston Celtics. Dennis Schroeder is out for the Boston Celtics. You've got Marcus Smart starting with Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and then Grant Williams. No. Robert Williams. Thank you. I always get it mixed up. Starting down low, 4,800 for the Celtics. Core play for me. Time Lord's going to get a lot of time. It's not the easiest matchup going down low against Golden State, but you got to love the price. I love Williams. I love Jaylen Brown. Actually, I don't think a lot of people are on today. And I love Jason Tatum. I love all three of them. Who are your favorite from the Boston side?
Yeah, I agree with those three. I think Williams is definitely my preferred guy. You know, before Horford started playing big minutes early in the season, we kind of had big hopes for Robert Williams. I know you and I talked last time about like not necessarily realizing just how big of a detriment Horford's presence was going to be to Williams.
Yep.
And now he's out of the lineup. So it's not just about the fantasy point per minute boost, and he is well over a fantasy point per minute without Horford on the floor. But it's also the fact that, you know, he's going from playing 20 to 25 minutes a night to probably gets to 30, maybe low 30, something like that. It's just a huge, huge boost for somebody who, without Horford, I think he should probably be priced somewhere around like 6,500 or 7,000. Getting him slightly under 5,000 is just a gift.
Yeah, I think you just got to take it. I was looking at Jaylen Brown splits earlier. I'm reloading them on the split tool for FTN. He had a crazy usage bump or like scoring bump when Horford, Williams, and Schroeder were off the court. Someone I think that's just going to be overlooked tonight, man. I mean, Jaylen Brown is a guy that can get out there and really put it up, especially when he has the usage bump, and it's all going to come from like him and Tatum now, essentially. So I think he's a good play, 8,500 as kind of a lower owned guy. He can get you to 45, and I think that's going to be good for tonight. Maybe make your lineup different a little bit elsewhere. I like him. He is only $500 cheaper than Jason Tatum. So if you have the money, go up to Jason Tatum. He's averaging 47 DK points per game. The $500 would be worth it. But if you're stuck at 85, I do not hate Brown at all. What about on the other side of this game, Golden State? Does the absence of Poole do anything for you? Are you going to pay up for Curry? Wiggins sitting there kind of in no man's land, 6,100. Anything that you like?
Not really. I think kind of similar to the point I made with Carter Jr. earlier. It's just a slate where there are so many guys like Tatum and Brown, for example, who are getting this big benefit from absences that it's really difficult to play somebody who is priced in accordance with exactly what they've been doing all year, and they don't get that kind of boost. And the Warriors are one of the teams that seem to be dodging the COVID bullet so far, so I'm just not really interested there.
I skipped over Ends Freedom today. So we've got to talk about former Cantor. He's only 3,100. With all the bigs out for Boston, I think he's a very good play, very good salary saver. And you've got people like you can compare him to Boogie Cousins. Would you rather have Freedom? Would you rather have Cousins? Would you rather have Damian Jones from the Sacramento Kings, who's down there at the same price if the game plays? The game probably plays, but it's not 100% certainty that game actually plays. I think it does. No word on it yet, but I'm just trying to be a little bit cautious here. Ends Freedom. Do you have interest in him, 3,100?
I think the only reason you're playing him is if that's the only spot in your lineup that you're really differentiating with everywhere else is chalk, and you're just trying to get some correlated leverage off of Robert Williams. But I feel like they have so much more confidence in Williams, especially as a defensive player, that I feel like Freedom's just going to play the minutes that they want to rest Robert Williams. Other than that, he'll be on the floor, and he's the guy I want.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to fix the mic. Someone said something's up with the mic. Trying to fix it. If y'all can help me out there, Thomas, let me know in the green room.
It does sound better.
Okay. All right, cool. So, I'm with you. Robert Williams is going to be my favorite, but I'm going to have some freedom too. I mean, I think he gets 22, 24 minutes at least, and he can get you close to 30, and at 3,100, I'm fine with it. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather play, if you have to play one, Freedom, Cousins, or Damian Jones for the Sacramento Kings, all super cheap centers?
Yeah, that's a really tough one. I think my lean is DeMarcus Cousins. The only hedge I'd put there is I do still have a lot of interest in Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. So do I want all three of those guys? Do I think that a Cousins smash would hurt the Drew and Middleton pairing? Maybe. And certainly, like, I don't think that we can be confident that even with the guys in that front court that are out, that Cousins is going to play like 24 plus minutes. They might feel like he can't go more than 18 to 20. So I do think like it's possible to fade Cousins, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with it. But I would say I think if you're dead set on playing Freedom, the better way to do it is probably to pair him with one of those two guys and just hope that you need the savings at the center position and that you're paying up elsewhere. Maybe you're paying for Lillard and Tatum, something like that. So that's the way I would do it.
Cool. Next game, Denver at Atlanta. Capella is in. He was questionable earlier. He is going to be in. You've got the Joker coming in as the most expensive player on the slate, probably going to be the highest scoring player on the slate. Plenty of value on the slate. Question is, do you have to have him? He might put up 60, 65, 70 points. It's not an easy matchup against Capella, but we know that Joker is matchup proof. So let's talk about this game a little bit, man. You've got Trey coming in from Atlanta, super hot, got engaged last night. So he's either in a great mood or very, very tired, depending on how the night went for him. Probably went well. So you can go with Trey if you want to up top. Don't mind it. All the other Atlanta guys are a little spread out for me, even though it's a decently good matchup against Denver. We don't have the value popping up like we did on other teams, so you don't have to get there. If you can fit in Joker, go for it. I don't think it's 100% priority. You have to have him, though.
Yeah, I would agree completely. I think you said it perfectly. He's a luxury on this slate. If you can get him, great. Otherwise, I'm very happy staying in that like 9K range. Damian Lillard is one of my favorite plays on the slate. We already touched on Jason Tatum, even down to Jaylen Brown. So I don't feel like you have to get up to him on this slate. Like a couple slates in recent memory where he wasn't just like the clear best play on the slate, but it was also like underpriced for the matchup. And this is a tougher spot for him. And we have some better options down below than we have had on past slates. So he's not a priority to me, but I do think he's going to be quite popular in single entries and probably in cash too.
Yeah, he should be. But I mean, like you have the most expensive, we're saying the same thing. The most expensive center here who's going to put up a ton of points, but you have three other value centers. One of them is going to get you to 35. Like, I don't know if you need to get there. Maybe you can be a little contrarian spinning up at guard. Trey Young, you didn't touch on. Do you have any interest in him? You think he's kind of too expensive at 10-2 over on DraftKings today?
I wouldn't necessarily say he's too expensive, and this is also a pretty nice matchup for him. Denver is pretty poor against the pick and roll, both against scoring ball handlers and against roll men. So it could be a game where Trey's getting into the lane and either scoring or assisting all night long through the pick and roll. But 10-2 is a little bit expensive for him. He hasn't really shown a ceiling past 60 just because his peripheral stats don't really ever show up. So that makes me a little bit worrisome there just because I feel like there are some guys who are cheaper who have actually a higher ceiling, if not just kind of like the same ceiling like Damian Lillard for about $1,000 less. So that's my preference, but I don't have any issues with Trey.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that. Right now, I have 3 entries on DraftKings. I've got them in 1 just because I built with a lot of just really solid value around him, hoping he can pop off for like over 50 for me. But I've got Lillard on another team, so I like both those guys. I'd probably prefer Lillard because you get the price savings, but just wanted out there that I do have a little bit of Trey. Anyone else from this game that you have any interest in, or are you going to keep moving?
No, I would have been really interested in John Collins, but then Capella was ruled in, so there went that.
Yep. I had interest in Collins too. The price was nice, but we are abandoning that now. Let me pull up the news, see if anything's popped up. While I'm doing that, I'll get you to lead us into the Milwaukee New Orleans Pelicans game. Obviously, we have Giannis out, DiVincenzo out, Semi Ojeleye out, Bobby Portis out, Brook Lopez out. Chris Middleton expected to be back. Drew Holiday going back to New Orleans, his old stomping ground. Talk to us about this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird to look at a slate that has Giannis out, has Bobby Portis out, and yet a really discounted Chris Middleton. He's rarely under 7K even when Giannis plays, and Drew Holiday still under 8,000. They're not mega chalk. And that just strikes me as a mistake. I feel like people are overreacting to newer information, and they're sort of overcorrecting for that. And Drew and Middleton, to me, like NBA has become, as far as a DFS sport, it's become as much about dodging the misses in your lineup as anything else. Like scoring has been so high lately that you basically need to be 7 of 8 or 8 of 8 in your lineup. And Middleton and Drew, they just seem like as high probability plays as you can possibly have on this slate and any slate. And so I feel like if you want to start your lineup there, that's as great a foundation as you can possibly have.
Yeah, Middleton's price is dumb. It's 6,700 on DraftKings. I mean, it's just wrong. He can easily go out and get you 40 tonight against the Pelicans, who anyone can score on. So I love Drew, love Middleton. I have at least Drew or Middleton in every team I have. Someone's asking about Jordan Nora. He came off the bench, had a good game last game. I'm not there. I don't think you have to get there on this game. Look, I know they're like beat up down low. He might play like a few minutes of the 5, and I don't even know if it's guaranteed or anything. But he's not someone that I'm really interested in. Any interest in Jordan Nora for you?
I actually do have some interest. I think whether or not you play him is very dependent on whether or not you play Cousins, because I feel like Nora is a guy who's definitely going to get the minutes if they choose to just play small, spread the floor, run the floor, that kind of thing. And if Cousins is on the floor, they're not going to need his playmaking as much. I am a little bit concerned for him with Middleton back. Like that's another reason why they might not need his playmaking, his scoring. But yeah, I do think he's got some contrarian appeal at just $3,300, especially if you wanted to pay up for someone like Jokic. Nora becomes a really nice value since you're losing a value spot at the center position.
Someone's asking, can you play Drew and Middleton? You spelled Drew, D-R-E-W, Drew and Middleton. I used to spell it wrong too, but I spelled it differently. I used to think he left the E off the end. I don't know. It was just one of those things. Can you play Drew and Middleton in the same lineup? Yeah, you can play them in the same lineup.
Yeah,
I have that one, and then one of each in the other 2 lineups that I have today. So that is fun. As far as Cousins goes, like I'm a little worried about how much time he's going to get on the court. Like there's other value guys that I think can get more time, like Damian Jones, I think can. Tristan Thompson, I didn't even bring up earlier. They'll probably keep him, find a way to keep him under like 24 minutes. But it's probably about the same as Cousins is going to get. I don't think you have to jam Cousins in like you. It's not even a jam. Just place him in there gently, like you were thinking maybe last night. Maybe if you were in there, maybe fine. I would prefer. I think I prefer Freedom. I think I prefer Jones over him. So I don't have any Cousins right now. Is that a mistake?
It's so hard to tell. Like I would say this: if he plays 18 minutes and gets 20 DraftKings points, you're going to feel like it was an easy fade. If he plays 25 minutes and gets 40 DraftKings points, you're going to think, "Oh, that was so cool. It was so easy for him to crush." And it's just one of those like. I almost feel like you want to make that decision not based on that actual decision, but just where the rest of your lineup takes you.
I mean, J-Val's just got to like completely eat his lunch today. Like it's got to happen. Like J-Val set up for a nice game going here too that no one's going to be playing because the price isn't as sexy as some of the other guys, and you can spend way up or spend way down. Man,
yeah, I actually really like that call, especially if Milwaukee did choose to just go small. Valanciunas could have like 5 putbacks tonight. So
yeah.
I really do like that. At what is he, 8 or 8-2?
8-2.
8-2, yeah.
J-Val, 50 burger, probably coming up. How builds are going to be pretty chalky tonight, I would think.
Very, very, yeah.
That's a good way to get different, I guess. So, yeah, on Milwaukee, our favorite guys. I've got Drew over Middleton, but those are the two guys that I'm focused in on. I'm not really looking at anyone else there. And then for the Pelicans, not real high on anyone here. We like J-Val, but I don't think you have to get there. As far as like Hart goes, I think the price is fine at 5.5. I don't think I want to go there, though. If I was forced to, maybe, but then I've got other Kings value around that same price point, like a Harry Barnes that I'd probably go to. So anyone else you want to touch on from this game, and I'll take the Discord for questions.
No, I think that's it for that game.
We got Celtics questions. Good question about Romeo Langford. He's starting tonight, super cheap. I probably won't have much of him. The usage isn't going to go to Langford. It's going to go to Brown. It's going to go to Tatum. It's going to go to Smart. It's going to go to Time Lord, and then it's going to go to Romeo Langford. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
And then someone said, do you think it's a good matchup for Time Lord? Not particularly, no. But he's super cheap, and he's going to have to play a ton of minutes tonight, and that's why I'm going to play him. But it's not particularly a great matchup.
Yeah, I would agree. I would even say it's a slightly negative matchup. It's just not negative enough to overcome the minutes boost and fantasy point per minute boost.
Let's see. Jay Frick asking, can they play big? Who will they play? I'm not sure. I think that's maybe a Milwaukee question. I mean, the only options that they have down there are going to be Cousins, Mamu. Let's see. He'll play some center for sure with Cousins. He'll split off with Cousins, get 25, 26 minutes. Any Mamu love?
Yeah. Not really. I mean, I think that's another one where it's just like on a different slate, on a different day, that might be worth it, but not today.
Cool. Everyone's saying, we're going to talk about Pat Bev versus Westbrook. I do like that. Someone's saying they're getting a ton of Duncan Robinson. Ooh, I agree. That's ooh, but if the shot drops, the shot drops. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Robin Lopez or Freedom? For me, it's Freedom easy.
Yeah, I would agree.
Robin Lopez, 3,100. Wasn't it the same situation for him last game where he got 6 minutes? Am I missing something there?
I don't know. I that's just one where like I don't think it really matters. He's just not high enough fantasy points per minute that as a backup center that would even be worth considering.
Yep. Next up, a game I don't have interest in. We're flying through here. This is good for building lineups and answering questions at the end, and for the news that is inevitably going to drop 15 minutes before lock. Don't have a ton of interest in this game. Utah, San Antonio. I am okay with skipping it unless you have some plays in this game you want to talk about.
No, absolutely not.
If you want low ownership, I've got the game for you. San Antonio. We just got the Warriors starting lineup. Curry, Moody, Wiggins, Green, Looney. So we're going to get some Moody questions. Let me pull up Moody. I doubt Moses Moody, 3,000.
Yeah, that does nothing for me. I mean, they pretty much just want to plug somebody into the lineup and not mess with the second unit and the rest of the rotations as much as they would otherwise have to. It doesn't change anything for me.
Good call. Just like the Celtics situation, pretty close to it anyways, in my opinion. All right, cool. What do we have? 3 games left. This is awesome. Memphis at Sacramento. So let me go back over here and read you who is available for Sacramento tonight, everybody, because it is not a lot of people. Last time I checked, it was 8 people. I retweeted it on my Twitter at Tenacious D Jones. But NBA, this is from Jason Anderson, beat writer for Sacramento. NBA requires a minimum of 8 players in uniform for each game. The list of active players for the Kings and Grizzlies tonight could be down to Buddy Hield, Ramsey, Robert Woodard II, Harrison Barnes, Mo Harkless, Tristan Thompson, Damian Jones, and Quita. I don't know. Nemus Quita, that guy. So
I was wondering how you were going to pronounce it because I don't even know.
You know, sometimes I just go for it. I know that's most likely wrong. To me, so that is this. He's kind of implying that. Well, we don't know. It could be down if they don't have Halliburton, right? So they could have 9 if Halliburton does play. Buddy Hield, I would love him. He would just get so much time. He would get the most time
Yeah.
on the floor. Him and Harrison Barnes would just get a ton of time. They'd be two of my favorite plays on the entire slate, even though they're going to get their ass kicked by Memphis, like handedly. Check out FTN bets. I put up all my bets today are Memphis bets because they are going to kick the crap out of Sacramento Kings, but there's still going to be time to go around. Tristan Thompson, Damian Jones are going to be playing center. I like Damian Jones fine. I like the price. Tristan Thompson, I worry about how they're going. What kind of minutes do we have Thompson for? Do you know? Do you have that?
No, I can get it up real quick though. But it's such a tough question just because like I feel like they've sort of gone to almost a youth movement, if you will, where they kind of know what they have in Tristan. And so they've gone they're getting a look at Damian Jones. They're getting a look at Alex Len. I have no idea why Alex Len is still in the NBA. It's a complete mystery to me. But
got him.
It almost feels like they're just going to split it halfway between these two. Like we have Damian Jones at 22 minutes and Tristan at 28.
28.
So if Kyle's right about that, if it's 28 to 22 in minutes, Tristan is going to smash at 28.
Yeah.
You know, he's so good per minute, especially when he actually is allowed to play. Particularly if he played 28 off the bench and got to avoid a lot of the Steven Adams minutes, that would just make it even better for him.
If he played off the bench, but I guess we gotta wait and see that. I would think that Damian Jones comes off the bench. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know how they're going to roll this out tonight. So
yeah,
kind of have to wait and see. What about these other nobody knows about? I mean, any Ramsey, Woodard, Hart? I don't care if Mo Harkless was the last guy on the team. I'm not playing Mo Harkless tonight. Any of these other guys? I mean, it's reminds me of what did we have, the Nets game a couple of days ago, where just like some of these no-name guys that are well-known now in the industry have a chance to go off. Big slate, I don't think you have to get there. I don't think you have to jam in like 5 Kings or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like those other guys would only have any interest whatsoever in those guys if both Halliburton and Metu ended up being out, and I don't think that's going to be the case.
Well, we've got I'm going to call him NQ because I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's going to get some center minutes too. So that would be Jones, Thompson, and NQ getting some center minutes. Might bump down Thompson some. They might want to get a longer look, like you said, at old NQ. Starting to mess with me a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like Thompson tonight. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't like the situation for Thompson. They've just shown. So there's been other situations this season where Thompson looks like he's going to get minutes and get playing time. And I know this is a different situation. There's like 8 or 9 possibly active players, but they just find a reason to not give it to him. And if they have 3 active centers, that's like the deepest position on the court.
Yeah, and also you talked about the expectation that Memphis might just win this one handily. And of the 3, Tristan is the least likely to be on the floor in a blowout. So it's just another reason to kind of bump him down a bit.
I have, I'll just go ahead and say it. I have Memphis over 55.5 first half. I think that smashes. I have Memphis -4 first half. That's going to smash. And then I just put a ton of money on the money line, even though the odds are ridiculous because it's going to win. So there you go. That's how I roll. All right, next game. Anything else? Oh, Memphis side. We should talk about the Memphis side. So I was getting questions about them earlier. Obviously, it's a fantastic situation for the Memphis guys. What happens in Memphis blowouts is that everyone on the team starts to get minutes, right? So if it's a blowout in the third quarter, none of the starters are going to be guaranteed minutes. Yes, they should smash for the first 3 quarters, like absolutely crush. And I'm talking about like Brooks, I would like a lot. I would like Bane a lot. Anderson, maybe we can talk about it. Jaren Jackson Jr., he doesn't get a ton of minutes anyways, as far as like huge starter minutes. Like he's not always going up into the mid-30s. He can get you there at like 26, 28 minutes if they want to use him that much. I'm fine with him at 6,700. Aside from that, I don't have too much more interest in these Memphis guys. And I would, although in a great spot, I'm a little bit worried about how much they are actually going to need the starters.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if you're playing a handful of Sacramento guys, especially like if Halliburton's in and you're going both Halliburton and Hield, maybe you're even playing Tristan as well. I do think this is a wonderful spot for Dylan Brooks. It's not just the fact that Sacramento is undermanned and Memphis should just roll offensively in this one, but it's also it's a pace up spot for them, and he is among their he's one of the guys who thrives most specifically in pace on that team. So at just $6,300, I feel like that's already too cheap with John Morant out for him. It's really difficult to say that he's not in a great spot because he really is.
Yeah, he is. They're asking questions about Sacramento still in here, as they should be. How many Sacramento guys? One of our sharpest guys in here, Herm, saying he's going to have at least 3 in every lineup. I don't disagree with that. I don't think you have to go 5 like we did the other night, but it might not be the worst idea. They said, "Who's your favorite king?" He said all of them. So, I mean, no, most of them are going to exceed value, if not all of them.
Yeah, I would agree.
Don't hate it at all. Tyler Hero officially ruled out. All right. Duncan Robinson, load him up if you want him. I don't. Hope he doesn't get me again. I hate it when I get beat by someone like Duncan Robinson. Next game up is the Los Angeles Lakers. Russell Westbrook is in. They're going to play the Timberwolves. Malik Monk has been ruled out.
Middleton's out.
Shit. Okay.
That's a new one.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go.
Drew just became a lock again.
You're locking Drew. Man, now I've got to redo my stuff. And that's going to bump up Jordan Nora.
Yeah.
That's going to bump up Grayson Allen.
Mm-hmm. Probably helps Cousins too, because they'll need offense on the floor.
Nora's still going to come off the bench, though, right? I mean, he got essentially starters minutes last game.
Yeah.
Dig into that a little bit more. What was going on there? What a bit of a blowout. Christ. Okay. Let's take a look at how much Grayson Allen is. Getting 30. He's going to get his 30 minutes a game. Hasn't been brilliant or anything. 4,300 against New Orleans. That's a good place to get right. Now I'm starting to worry about, Milwaukee. You know what? Milwaukee, even when Giannis and Portis and even Middleton's out, when they have a good bench, they can hang around in games, especially against New Orleans. So don't hate it. That really sucks that Middleton's out though. So I'm with you. You lock in Drew just 100%. Damn it. All right.
Yeah. Man, the corner position is just so tough. It's I just Robert Williams, Tristan Thompson, DeMarcus Cousins. Those are 3 guys that I feel like on any other slate, you just set it and forget it, move on, go somewhere else, and now you have to pick at least one to leave out, and maybe even more than that.
They're in here saying Nora Knight. I've got Joe Metz in here, who is a Bucks guy, and we're asking him who the move's going to be. I mean, I don't think it's smash Nora, but Joe seems.
I kind of think it is.
Okay.
I mean, think about how much usage.
Yeah.
Because right. When Cousins is on the floor, he's probably getting more usage than Bobby Portis when Portis is on the floor. But Cousins isn't going to play the minutes that Portis plays. And Nwora already played 27 minutes last game. He's gonna have usage. He's probably the second best playmaker now on the team playing tonight. So,
wow. Yeah, I don't disagree. All right. Yeah, we can get Jordan Nora in. That's a good salary saver. Good salary saver, man. All right, everything's getting messed up. Let's try and churn through these last 2 games, answer some questions. Lakers at the Timberwolves. Westbrook's in. It kind of takes away my interest in LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Malik Monk's out. Reeves is out. I don't know. They're all too overpriced for me. I'm not playing any of them. So, and on the Timberwolves side, you can look over at D'Angelo Russell, who honestly doesn't get or at least this season so far, hasn't had just a massive bump when Edwards is off. I expected it to be more, but he's still going to have a usage bump. I like him fine going against the old team. That's fine. Whatever. Patrick Beverly, 4,700 going up against Westbrook. He is going to be in his face. And I think this is on national TV. I love national TV PBEV. On ESPN. PBEV on ESPN. It's so good. He's going all out. PBEV's going all out. He's a GPP guy. I don't hate him. I think 4,700. Get a couple steals, maybe a block or two. Hopefully he can score. It's going to be tough to drive it on Anthony Davis and LeBron James, that's for sure. Not my favorite guy by any means. Might sprinkle him in a bit. Carl Anthony Towns, not into. So for me, Russell, maybe some PBEV. That's it from the game. Anything?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying because there's actually another game that, like, from a game environment perspective, it's a really intriguing one. And it's one of the few games that COVID isn't playing a major role in, and so there's not the obvious value. I would say that there is enough value on this slate that I do think you can get to an Anthony Davis or LeBron James, and just, the play would be based off raw score, just being that valuable, as opposed to playing them because they're a great value at their price. But I do think either one of them could end up being in GPP winning lineups. Okay,
yeah, I don't hate that take at all. Hey, do you think LaMelo Ball is going to play? That seems pretty important. He's in the next game.
Yeah, he was probable as of this morning, I think.
Yeah, I think he plays. He was practicing in some capacity, so I think he's in.
Yeah.
So he's playing at Portland tonight. He's 9,500. He's one of my favorite point guards on the slate for sure. I don't think many people are going to be on him, and he's got that 55, 60 point ceiling. So anyone from this game that you like on either side? I know you've kind of teased Dame Lillard up into this point.
Yeah, I love Lillard tonight. The usage has just been awesome since McCollum went down. He's now played just 3 games, but the minutes, like 37-minute floor, that's awesome. The ball's going to be in his hands the whole time, and now he finally gets a matchup that is very favorable. It's a favorable individual matchup. It's a favorable matchup in terms of the pace of the game, favorable matchup in terms of the opponent defense from a team perspective. Everything about this is just a really, really good spot for Lillard, and his price has come all the way down to 9,300. I feel like in years past, if he was this price in this context, he'd be 75% owned. He's probably going to be 25%, something like that tonight, just because of the shooting struggles he's had so far this year. And that's just not something I want to bank on continuing. So I'm just going to smash the Lillard play tonight.
Yeah, it's no CJ McCollum, still a usage bump for him there. Price isn't caught up like what we're accustomed to seeing Dame Lillard. He's more expensive than Drew over on DraftKings, 9,300, Drew 79. I'd play him over him. Would you play LaMelo? I think I would choose LaMelo Ball over Dame Lillard. Do you go the other way?
Yeah, I would go Lillard first, but I would definitely say that I do like the idea of playing them together quite a bit.
Me too.
It's a mini game stack. I'm going to flip this and ask you a question. What do you think of Yusuf Nurkic at 7,300? Played 39 minutes 2 games ago, then 31 last game, and that's coming off 28 and 30 the 2 games prior. He's only averaged 25 per game so far this year and was basically like 22 to 25 for a lot of the year. And it looks like with McCollum out, they're leaving him on the floor for his offense a little bit longer, and I feel like that gives him some really nice upside.
It gives him huge upside, especially against Charlotte, who's been terrible. They've got Plumlee back now, I'm pretty sure, but that's nothing like you worry about with Nurk at all. They've also been leaving Larry Nance out there for 30 minutes. Had a bad game last game up against Memphis, but against Phoenix, Timberwolves, Golden State, he was exceeding value. The most minutes he got was against Memphis, where he had his bad game. I don't think Larry Nance is a terrible play against Charlotte. I don't think that Nurkic is. The price is good, especially on FanDuel. He was cheaper over there. You just hope he gets the minutes, but he even produces at a really high point per minute when he doesn't get huge minutes. So no problem there. The issue you have with it is it's taking up a center spot, and there's a lot of other good center plays. So
exactly,
that would be the only thing that kind of got me away from it. What about Larry Nance for you? Do you have, because he's landing in some of my builds, but I'm not sure if I want to do it or not. Do you like him at all?
Yeah, I think he's a fine play. This is the type of game environment in which he does well. Same argument for Covington. I think the only arguments against them sort of similar to the argument against Nurkic, is just that there are so many fantastic values on this slate that is it really worth getting a lower owned guy who would be a nice value on most nights, but just from a pure projection standpoint, can't really compete with the more obvious value.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Seeing if we have any more updates here. What about Normie Powell? He's pretty cheap. He went off last game. Great matchup for him too.
He's a little too scoring dependent for me. Like you need quite a bit of scoring from him for a ceiling performance too, because the peripheral stats aren't there.
Yep. All right, let's see what Woj is talking about. I saw a Woj tweet pop up. Golden State and Klay Thompson targeting January. Okay, doesn't matter for tonight. Hopping over to the Discord, Nora or Cousins? They directed
Both.
that at Joe. Both? Damn.
Both.
Bucks have 9 available now. Is that correct? I'm not sure. Sounds about right, though. I saw it earlier, and I think that is actually correct. Thoughts on Gordon Hayward? I'm not on him if LaMelo's back. I'm not going to play him.
Yeah, agree. No interest in Hayward with LaMelo back.
All right, let's see. Is there another game that I've skipped over? That was it, right? I think that was it. All right, so Nora, Herm saying Nora, Cousins, good. If y'all have questions, drop them in here in Discord real quick. We'll get to them. LeBron and Brown or AD and Tatum? My goodness, that's a stacked question. LeBron and Brown or AD and Tatum? So with AD, he got 38 minutes last game because they're short. Dwight Howard was unavailable, and they didn't really give Jordan full run. It's a great matchup for AD. I really think so. I would probably go him and Tatum over LeBron and Brown.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't think you have to get to the Lakers, though, just to throw that out there, too. But there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite plays of the slate? You going to try and run through some of those? I can kind of start us off just to recap here. Buddy Hield, be one of my top guys tonight, given that game plays. I think it will. Him and Halliburton would both be set up very nicely. If Halliburton can play with his back, you might get him at lower ownership because as of right now, he is questionable. And I don't know that it's looking real great either. What 50-50 shot Halliburton plays?
Yeah, I mean, I know every single site around the industry is projecting him in, but it doesn't feel like everybody should be that confident. I think it's probably slightly better than 50-50 that he plays, but it's not something comfortable. You probably want to have a 2v2 or a 1v1 pivot just in case you need it.
Yeah, for sure. They're asking me my profile pick of the day. It's going to be Drew Holiday. I'm putting him in every lineup I have. So love the Kings guys, including Harrison Barnes. Like him a lot. Usually hate him. But he's going to get a ton of time on the floor. I like him a lot. Who else we got here? Anyone else name you want to throw out?
Yeah, I would say Lillard for me.
Okay,
for sure.
And I agree with what you were saying about if you're playing Lillard, run it back with LaMelo, Lillard. I like that a lot, a whole lot. And I think I'm going to do that on one of my 3 lineups. I think people are going to sleep on LaMelo tonight, man. I like him a ton. Him, Trey, and Lillard, all really good spin-ups to make your lineup a little bit different. As far as the cheap centers go, I still like Freedom. I still like Cousins has grown on me a little bit. He's fine. But my favorite guy is that you're going to want to get off the Celtics is going to be Robert Williams. Simply too cheap. Across the industry, should be popular. Doesn't matter. Robert Williams.
Yeah, I like it.
Tatum or Brown? Who are you going with?
I'll go Tatum. I really like the call to pivot to Brown just for the ownership difference there, but they're just too close in price for me that on a slate like this where every single lineup is going to be a stacked lineup, I just don't think you want to sacrifice that much expectation.
Going to take a couple more questions here before we bow out. Jay Frick asking Terry Rozier, Derek White, or Bane on DK. So it's not Rozier. Derek White's too cheap for what he's been doing. I do not like the matchup against Utah, but he really has shown some upside. So it's between him or Bane. I do worry about that game getting out of control in Memphis. I think I would actually – it's tough. It's Bane or White. Do you have a preference there?
I think White, but I don't love any of the three.
Yeah, I don't love any of the three either. I probably go with White too. Probably go with White. Bane is going against Sacramento, but I just worry about the minutes going around for those guys. But the Jazz should beat the shit out of the Spurs too. You would think, at least Vegas thinks so, or at least Vegas thinks that the public thinks so. So I probably go White. Let's see. Joe Metz main core, Drew, Jaylen Brown, holla, love it. Jordan Nora and the Joker. And the Joker, he's going to put up 60 like he always does. Braun Towns, got it. Braun Towns or Joker Bridges? Which Bridges? That's the question. Which Bridges?
Yeah, it would have to be Miles, I think. And I was going to bring up Miles.
Suns are minor. No, you're
just
right.
Because Miles is so much better with LaMelo than without. Like LaMelo is as important to Bridges as any teammate is to anybody in the league. So I do think the Bridges at 7,700 is actually a really nice play tonight. So I would probably lean there, but I have no issue with either pairing, honestly.
Someone's asking favorite Wolves. Mine are going to be Russell and P-Bev.
What was that question?
Favorite Wolves.
Mm-hmm. I would say Towns, except it's the most loaded position on the slate, so right. I don't really know.
All right.
I think with Edwards out, probably Russell at 76.
Yeah, I agree. Bucks players available: Holiday, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Jordan Nora, DeMarcus Cousins, George Hill, Rodney Hood, Javonte Smart. Thanasis is or Thanos, doubtful. We might have to get some more Bucks in. Davis or Melo, last man in. Davis or Melo? Davis. Terrence Davis is out.
Which Davis? Yeah.
It couldn't possibly be Anthony Davis or LaMelo.
Oh, could be LaMelo instead of Carmelo. I would say LaMelo over Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Gotcha. Cool. All right, 9 minutes till lock. That's going to do it for us. That was all the questions. We'll try and hop in the Discord to answer some more questions. Got to update a couple lineups over here. Good luck, everyone. Don't overthink it. Play Drew Holiday. Play Robert Williams. Just go straight to some of these value guys, including the Kings guys, but just hope the game plays. Stay posted. You might have to do some late swaps. Someone's asking, last question, Tristan Thompson, 3,300, no Len. 4,300, I think it's okay. You hope he gets you to 30. Lillard or AD? Last question.
Lillard.
All right, that's it. Appreciate you watching the show. We will catch you next time. Good luck, everyone, tonight.